greatness of cell. Since the beginning of history, your cells have been working 24/7 all year long without any break. Human cells have fought millions and millions of pathogens and enemies, and they still do. So they are the reason humans still exist today. Check out this video to see how great these cells are. Our story begins with this tiny place in our universe called Earth, where millions of living organisms have been found to date, from dinosaurs to elephants, human, and plants. From the wonderful aquatic animals to amphibians, insects, algae, fungi, bacteria, viruses, and millions of other living organisms, they all share the same building block called cells. Cells are so tiny that you can fit hundreds of thousands of cells in a single rice grain. If you squeeze them more, you can probably fit millions of cells in that rice grain. Most recent estimates put the number of cells at around 30 trillion per human. Even with that huge number of cells, human size is nothing comparing dinosaurs or a big tree. Not to mention our size comparing to the planet, the sun, the solar system, and the universe. So can you imagine how small these cells comparing to our universe? So how much greatness we could see in this tiny space of the universe we call cells. You will be amazed about what is going inside every single cell every second. While you watch, hundreds of thousands of proteins and metabolites are being carefully produced every second inside every single cell. Cells constitute a massive and integrated production system that surpass all humans' technologies and production factories. Not only massive production, cells have a highly controlled and precise transporting system to deliver every single protein to the right place at the right time inside the cells, which means tens of thousands of proteins are being produced and moving in all directions inside this small space without any accident, traffic jams, or misdelivering. Sound like a pretty cool city to live in? We'll wait to hear more. With this massive production, one would assume a huge pile of waste accumulating. Well, you are right, but cells have fascinating recycling systems to collect expired, unwanted, or damaged proteins and other wastes and degrade them into their basic components, which can then be reused again and again. While as humans we are still struggling to deal with our waste. So far we only have a low-efficient recycling system that we started only in the past few centuries. However, our cells have been recycling their own wastes at a very high efficiency, way longer than you can imagine. Sounds like a great place to live in, right? Well, we still have more. Cells are more like a balloon filled with jelly, and inside this balloon, there are smaller balloons representing the cell organelles. In case of the balloon, once it closed, you can't get anything in or out. But for cells, they have a fascinating importing and exporting systems. Thousands of proteins and cargoes are being delivered back and forth across various cell membranes without causing any leaking from the cell or damage to the cell membrane. Not only this, but cells also have many radars called receptors distributed on the membranes. These receptors can carry signals across the membranes. For example, some of the receptors on the outer cell membranes can detect invaders, pathogens, and alarm the cell to prepare for the war, which we are planning to explain in detail in our next video called the arm race between cells and pathogens. Cells can communicate and chat with each other to transfer signals, exchange materials, and alert neighbor cells during pathogen attacks. So to imagine altogether all this highly advanced production, transportation, import, export, recycling, defense, communication systems, and many more going inside this tiny space of the universe, which you can't even see with your bare eye. With all the advances we have, we are still struggling to understand and learn from these fascinating systems and the greatness that are found inside the cells. If you want to learn more about this, we will explain them all in a very simple and detailed videos on our channel. So please like and subscribe to our Facebook page and YouTube.